Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, the home of Manchester United, where legends have been made, trophies have been lifted, and history has been written. But let's be honest, right now it's falling apart. The once iconic fortress has become outdated, with leaky roofs, outdated concourses, and facilities that feel like they belong to another era, because they do. Fans are getting soaked during games, the hospitality areas are years behind modern stadiums. And while clubs like Tottenham and Real Madrid have moved forward with cutting-edge arenas, United has been stuck in the past. It's a brutal reality check for a club that prides itself on being the biggest in the world. So, what's the plan? After years of uncertainty, Manchester United is finally taking action. The club is set to build a brand new 100,000-seat stadium right next to Old Trafford in a $2.6 billion project that will redefine football in England. And this isn't just a new stadium, it's an attempt to restore United to the top of world football. And if they get it right, this could be the most impressive football venue on the planet. But there's a lot to unpack here. How will it look? How will it be funded? And will it actually work? Well, we're gonna break it all down in this video. For years, fans have debated whether the club should renovate Old Trafford or start fresh. The truth though, renovation isn't a real option. The stadium hasn't had a major upgrade since 2006, and fixing it up would be more complicated than you think. Expanding the south stand, which is squeezed up against tight railway lines, would cost a fortune, and renovating the whole stadium would mean reducing capacity to 40,000 seats during construction, forcing United to find a temporary home, something no major club wants to deal with. And even after all that effort, they'd still be stuck with an old structure, just with a few updates, and it wouldn't be enough to compete with the modern stadiums popping up across Europe. The solution? A brand new state-of-the-art 100,000-seater that will push Manchester United into the future. But what will this super stadium actually look like? Well, let's start with the basics. The new stadium will be built on land right next to Old Trafford, allowing United to keep playing in their historic home while construction is underway. And this means no messy relocation to another stadium, no awkward temporary move, and no disruption to match-day traditions. Instead of forcing the club to share a stadium with a rival or drastically cut capacity, this plan allows for a seamless transition. Once the new stadium is complete, Old Trafford will be demolished and space could be transformed into new developments. Fan zones, commercial spaces, or even a museum dedicated to the club's legendary history. And this ensures that the essence of Manchester United remains intact. While pushing the club into a new era. Now, let's talk about the design. Because this isn't just going to be a stadium, this is going to be a footballing colossus. First up, capacity. At 100,000 seats, this will be the biggest club stadium in Europe, surpassing Barcelona's Spotify Camp Nou, which has 99,354 seats, and dwarfing Wembley's 90,000 capacity. This will completely reshape what we expect from a Premier League ground. To put it into perspective, the current largest stadium in England is Wembley at 90,000, while Old Trafford sits at 74,310. Even Tottenham's ultra-modern stadium, which opened in 2019 and is considered one of the best in Europe, holds only 62,850. The difference is, United's home will set the gold standard for football stadiums in England. But of course, capacity alone isn't what makes a stadium truly world-class. The architecture and the fan experience will take this to another level. The club has studied the most cutting-edge stadiums in the world to get this design right. United's delegation has made multiple visits to SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, a $5 billion multi-purpose venue that has redefined modern sports arenas. And SoFi's massive 360-degree digital display, state-of-the-art hospitality, retractable roof, and futuristic fan experience have all influenced United's vision. The goal? To create a fully immersive environment where every seat offers perfect sightlines. The acoustics are engineered to maximize crowd noise, and the technology inside the stadium is years ahead of anything seen in English football. Expect to see giant, high-definition digital screens, dynamic LED lighting systems, and augmented reality (AR) features that brings fans closer to the game. Imagine being able to track player stats live on your seat's personal display, watch instant replays in 4K resolution, and engage in real-time interactions through a stadium-wide app. The roof structure could also feature a 360-degree Ultra HD scoreboard, similar to the one at SoFi Stadium, making sure that no fan ever misses a moment, whether they're in the front row or sitting in the highest section. And then there's the atmosphere. One of the biggest criticisms of modern stadiums is that they often feel too corporate, losing their intimidating energy. United is making sure that doesn't happen. One of the standout features of the new stadium will be a huge single-tier stand, inspired by Borussia's Dortmund's legendary Yellow Wall, but even bigger. The idea? A massive, intimidating wall of sound filled with 25,000 plus of United's loudest, most passionate fans. This stand will be designed to keep the noise inside the stadium, using angled roofing and acoustic engineering to amplify the sound and make it deafening for opposition teams. Unlike some modern stadiums that keep separate general fans from corporate sections, United is planning a steep, compact structure that keeps fans as close to the pitch as possible, and this means a more electric, intimidating, and authentic football atmosphere. Something Old Trafford has struggled to maintain in recent years. But this stadium isn't just about match days, it's about being designed as a multi-purpose venue that will generate revenue all year round. It won't just host football games. It will be a prime location for concerts, NFL games, boxing matches, esports tournaments, and global events. The club is considering a retractable roof, similar to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, allowing the venue to be used in all weather conditions. Now, this would make it one of the most versatile stadiums in Europe, ensuring it remains busy even during the off-season. And if done right, this won't be just the best stadium in England, it could be one of the best stadiums in the world. But let's talk about the big question: money. A $2.6 billion price tag is no joke, with United already $622 million in debt, so how do they pay it? There are a few options on the table. Private investment is the most likely, with Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos looking at funding options similar to how Stan Kroenke financed SoFi Stadium in LA. Another big factor could be naming rights. United could sell the stadium's name to a sponsor, bringing in hundreds of millions in funding. And while government support isn't expected to be a major factor, there could be public funding for infrastructure improvements like better transport links. And speaking of transport, that's another major part of this project. One of the biggest criticisms of Old Trafford is match day congestion. The new stadium will come up with improved transport links, including a new tram stop, upgraded road access, and potentially even water transport options via the Manchester Ship Canal. And this means easier access for fans and a smoother overall experience. But this project isn't just about United, it's about transforming Manchester. The Trafford area around Old Trafford is set for a major regeneration, turning it into a year-round entertainment hub. The plan includes hotels, bars, restaurants, shops, and public spaces, turning the area into a destination rather than just a football stadium. And this means thousands of new jobs, more tourism, and an economic boost that extends beyond just match days. Of course, no project of this scale comes without criticism. Some fans don't want to leave Old Trafford. They worry that moving to a new stadium will mean losing the soul of the club. Others fear that ticket prices will rise, making games less accessible to the average fan. And then there's the timeline. With completion expected by 2030, can United really afford to wait that long? These are big questions, and how the club handles them will determine whether this project is a success or a disaster. One thing is clear though, Manchester United needs this. Football is evolving, and if United wants to keep up with the world's biggest clubs, they can't afford to stand still. This new stadium is a chance to redefine the club's future and restore its place at the top of world football, and give fans an experience unlike anything they've ever seen before. So what do you think? Is this the right move for Manchester United? Will this stadium bring the club back to the top, or is it too big of a gamble? Let us know down in the comments. And if you want to stay updated on all other mega projects, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video.